Hey guys, today I wanted to show you how to fix eyebrows in Photoshop. This is my first tutorial, so hopefully everything goes smoothly and that it's not a complete and utter mess for me. But thank goodness for editing, so hopefully I will take out the boring parts and just leave in what you guys need. So I'm just going to get started. I'm using a photo compliments of my sister-in-law today. Her name is Kimber, so thank you for that. And basically what I've done so far is I've just done like a slight little bit of touch-up or clean up around here just to make the skin a little smoother so we have some good skin to sample from. Because if we have blemishes or acne here when we're sampling, we're going to copy that over to the eyebrows and we don't want that. So I'm going to start by creating a new layer. You can hit the shortcut, which is Shift Command N. You can name your layer. I'm going to make this Brows 01. And I'm going to use a lot of shortcuts. That's usually just what I'm used to, so just bear with me. You can hit J to come up with your spot healing tool. Make sure that when you have these tools that sample all layers is checked, otherwise it won't work. So with this one, sometimes it'll blend the colors together if you're not picking your own sample. So I'm going to do the healing brush. And I'm going to start by just getting rid of all the little hairs that I can get rid of here without it becoming a mess. And as you see, whoops, my phone just went off. And as you can see, I'm just sampling a piece of skin, sample, and probably make my brush a little smaller and zoom in slightly. So you just sample and you go over the little hairs and it's going to get rid of those. If I hit a line sample here, okay, I'm just going to show you. Hit Option and choose my sample. It's going to follow me wherever I go. You see that crosshair is following me? I'm going to get rid of that. That's if you have a line sample. What's sometimes a little bit easier for me is if I uncheck that and I have a nice piece of skin here and I sample it and I want to keep using that. So you'll see I go here and the crosshair stays in this area. I go here, crosshair stays in that area. So if you're having a problem finding a good piece of skin, unchecking a line sample is a little bit better because you can keep your little crosshair there and keep sampling that same spot. But you want to move it around as your skin tones get different. You don't want to be sampling too much of a different area. So I've cleaned up the majority of the hairs. You'll see, let me zoom in. If you hit the little eyeball here on the side of your layer, it's going to turn it on and off. So I've hit, I think, as many as I can without starting the next technique. I guess there's a few more over here that we can do. And if watching this little cursor in the red annoys you, let me know and I won't do it again. I just thought it might be helpful to see what I'm stroking and sampling and the keys I'm pressing. So anyway, so we started off with this, we cleaned that up, and now we have this. So you'll see in this area over here we have a few rogue hairs. Over here there's a couple that we can fix up. But when I start to do this, you'll see it doesn't make it the same skin tone as what I've sampled. But this tool doesn't deal very well with contrast, so it kind of smudges the colors together. So that's obviously not what we want. So let's just undo that. What you can do is go here to your lasso tool or just hit L. If you keep this down, you can select the polygonal lasso tool. And what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to draw on a basic shape of what we want the eyebrows to look like and what parts of the hair we want to exclude. So you're just going to start clicking in here. And let me tell you a side note, this thing gets crazy because you'll see, and then you're trying to get rid of it and you don't know how. Hit the delete key, because that drove me crazy for like a week before I could figure that out. So start by making your selection. We're going to brush some of this back in, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to have the option to omit these hairs if we want to. So get rid of hairs you think might be problematic now. Maybe go in there and like this. And when you bring this together, you'll see a little circle there. That means you've reached the end. But I'm actually going to change this slightly. And that's where you close it up. So we've made that one. Now let's make the next one. Oh no. So I didn't have this added in. So you see here, we have in the top left in this options bar, and it's good that I made this mistake so I can show you how to fix it. So you'll see here, once I start making a new selection, my other selection is gone. And the reason that that happened was because I didn't have either this box here checked with 2, or if you have the 1, you want to hit Shift to have the plus sign, or Option to have the minus sign. So if I want to minus this little block in here, it's going to minus it. And if I want to add in more than one selection, you want to have this one selected, or you want to hit Shift and keep that down. So anyway, let's try that again. We'll make our little selection here. You're going to hit your J key again, and that is the healing tool. Make our brush bigger by hitting the left bracket key. We're going to sample a piece of, oh, that's probably too big, sample a piece of skin, and we're going to try draw on the outside, and you're going to see nothing happens. That's because we've selected the inside, so all we can draw on or sample and fix is the inside. So to select everything but the outside and not be able to touch the part that we have selected, we want to hit Shift Command I to invert that. Now you'll see when I hit Option to select some skin, it allows me to work just on the outside of that edge and not touch the inside. So that's exactly what we want. It doesn't have to be completely perfect at this point, because we can still go in and fix those lines and spruce it up a little bit. Now what we want to do is we want to hit Command D to deselect it. Okay, those are looking really funky right now. Do not be scared. So, okay, I'm going to make a new layer and name this Brows 02. And you'll see there's a little bit of a line here. We can just go back. And there's a couple little hairs I missed. Just go back and soften up this outside line. Don't touch the edges of the eyebrow yet. Don't touch the edges of the eyebrows yet. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now to make this look less scary and less Spock-like, I think, if I'm thinking of the right character, I don't know. So we're gonna go back to our first brows layer. This is the layer. If I hit Option and click this eyeball, it's gonna, you see, it's gonna isolate this layer. This is everything that we got rid of here. So what we're gonna do is gonna add a layer mask on the bottom, the very bottom of the screen here, this little box. And what this does, white allows you to see beneath it. Black will block everything out. So we want to put this layer mask on. What we want to do is we want to paint with black onto this layer mask that we just provided. And black is going to block out some of this effect that we've applied. And what we want to do that for is we want to hide some of these lines that we've created and bring back some of the original hairs to give it an original, or a more realistic, look. So hit B for your brush key, normal, opacity 100. Make my brush a little smaller. I'm going to zoom in here for you guys. Whoa, that's scary. And what we're going to do is we are just going to paint back some of these eyebrows. And you don't just want to go in like just a straight line, because then you kind of still have that problem. You can switch between doing that and just little strokes, just to get a nice natural looking eyebrow. Now if you want to go back and erase some of what you've brought back in, hit the X key again and paint with white. And kind of just I'm going to redo this little part because I didn't really like how it turned out. Okay, so we'll see the eyebrows there are a little bit different in shape. So you just want to keep turning it on and off so that you can see the original and you can see what you've done, because we don't want to go too far with any of this stuff. Everything that you do in retouching should really be very, very minimal. Before, after, before, after. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good right now. Now, you'll notice over, whoops. Now you'll notice, say right over here, there's a little bit of a bald patch, and this is not as defined as this area here. So we want to go back to, actually let's group these layers together so that we don't get confused. So we'll hold down Command or Shift and select both of these, hit Command G to group them, and we'll brow cleanup. So now we know this is our brow cleanup. So we hit L, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy this area over here. So I'm just going to make a very loose selection around this because we're going to get rid of what we don't want with our handy dandy layer masks. Okay, now hit Command J to copy just that little selected part. I'll show you here. This is what we just selected. Now hit your V key to get back to your just your regular selection tool. And we're going to bring this over here. Now you see there's all this stuff hiding this away. That's because our masks and all that stuff is above this. So just move your layer above there. You'll see the line and it'll bring it forward. So there we go. The brow looks beautiful. Just kidding. Okay, so we have this now. Hit Command T to transform this. This is the free transform tool, and you'll see you can go like this or move it around or spin it or do whatever you want. But once we're in this free transform box, I want you to right click in here as well and flip it horizontally so that we have the same kind of natural flow of the eyebrow. So we can bring this down a little bit, scooch it around a little bit here. I'm going to place it right over there. Hit enter to close this out. Just move this slightly in there. Okay, so we're going to make this layer, call this brow clone, I guess, or copy, or whatever you want to call it. Just make sure you name your layers, because this stuff can get kind of crazy when you have too many layers going on, because I know I've been there and done that. It's a scary thing. So, okay. Just drink some water. Okay, so we're going to change our blend mode here. So we have normal. We're going to go down here to darken color. You see already that makes it look a lot better. I'll show you again. If we go normal or we go darken color, and you'll see that's already a lot better. Now, can you guess what we're going to do now to hide some of this away? Yes, you got it, a layer mask. Okay, down to the bottom here. See where my mouse is, the bottom. Add our layer mask. Now we're going to paint? That's not a word. Now we're going to take our brush tool, hit the B key, and we're going to paint with black to get rid of these areas that we don't want or need in here or look unnatural. And I think that actually looks pretty good. So there's without it, and there's with it. I think that we can... Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. There's just one more spot. You know what? This is really bothering me. This line is looking a little too harsh. There we go. I think that looks better. And what we can do is we can also do the same technique and fill in this spot. But first, let's fill in this little spot here. So we're going to go down to your background layer. Hit your L for your polygon. How do you say that? Hang on. polygonal. I had it. We're going to make our selection. You want to make it thick enough so that we can cover that. Hit Command J, hit V for your selection tool. Don't forget to move this above the masks and stuff. Brown clone 02, whoops, 01, 02. And we're going to move that over here. And we're going to say darken color already. It's looking a lot better. Add your layer mask. Press B for the brush tool. And, whoops, I think I just got rid of too much of that. I did. Okay. So you see there's before and there's after. And then I think let's do, you'll see this is a little more sparse than this. So I think it would be a good idea to copy this part. Okay, so we're going to select our Polygono Lasso tool. Going to make our selection here. Hit Command J, move the layer up. Name this Browse 03. The Move tool. Move it over here. And then we want to hit Command T again. Right click. Flip horizontal so that we have a nice proper line of where it's supposed to be. Just move it around until it kind of makes sense. Hit enter. I'm going to change the blend mode to darken color. You see there, made a little bit of a difference. And then we're going to add our layer mask. And we're going to take our brush tool in black. And we're just going to paint away. Just going to make my brush 100%. And we're just going to paint away what doesn't make sense to be there. You know, this is coming out a little harsh here. So I'm going to hit X and change my brush to white and bring back this original part that we pasted. And then I'm going to take the whole layer's opacity down. I think I'm going to hit X again to move back to black. I'm going to make my brush a little softer, or very soft. And now I'm going to paint it away. And that really helped. Maybe move this up a little bit, take the opacity up a little bit. Oops. You can do that, or you can leave your opacity up. And you can maybe take your brush's opacity down. You can either just hit the number 2 or 3, it'll take you to 20 or 30%, or you can move it up there. Whoops, painting with white. And that starts to look a little more natural. So let's see that without, and then with it. Okay, there's a little part I would want to take out here. I'm just going to make a new layer. I'm going to say brow, clean up 2, and hit J for your healing tool, small brush, sample, and there we go. Okay, so let's see here. These are the brows after they've been fixed. Actually zoom in. And these are before. So after, and that's before and after. So that was it. I hope all of that made sense to you guys. If you have any questions, make sure to post them below and I will be sure to answer them for you. And thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.